You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
Now, as you creep into the main event, right, as we tiptoe into this thing, you can't tiptoe, though, because you're dealing with Doug Rose. Rose Namajunas is going to bring the viewers, right? This isn't just another women's fight. This is Doug Rose. And in her last fight, she looked pretty darn good up a division in the women's flyweight division. So she's staying there now, right? She's 13-6, taking on the up-and-comer Tracy Cortez. She's 11-1, has a lot to prove. Big step up for Cortez, though, right? On the main stage, big step up in front of a crowd. Denver, Colorado. Place is going to be going crazy. A lot of people going to be rooting for Doug Rose. But can Tracy Cortez come in here and pull the upset? I don't know. Let's get into it right now. In the women's flyweight division, your main event at UFC Denver, you got Rose Namajunas, a.k.a. Thug Rose, coming in at 13-6, taking on Tracy Cortez, who comes in at 11-1. Coming in, Doug Rose is more than a 2-1 favor, so keep that in mind. Both ladies stand 5'5". Rose, 32. Tracy Cortez, 30. So right in the middle of the prime. Both fighters 65-inch reach. Both fighters stand right-handed. Both fighters pretty active. Rose, 3.7 significant strikes per minute to 4.1 for Cortez. So Cortez with a slight lead. And Cortez lands well over 2 takedowns over the course of 3 rounds. Rose gets like 1 every 3 rounds. Namajunas, 59% takedown defense. So the numbers aren't stacking up right now for Rose. But she's got a big, obviously a solid resume. So keep that in mind. That's why the numbers could be a little lower. She's coming off the win over Amanda Ribas by unanimous decision. Lost to Amanda Fiora by decision. And Carla Esparza split decision. And that Carla Esparza fight was one of the worst fights I've ever seen Doug Rose have. I mean, very inactive, 37 significant strikes in that fight. She also beat Zhang Weili twice, back-to-back, to capture and retain the women's strawweight belt. So that's where Rose has been. She's been all over the place and has fought the best fighters in the world. Now, Cortez, 75% takedown defense. She's basically perfect. She is perfect. Since entering the UFC, she's won 6 straight, if you count the Contender Series. But as of late, beat Jazuda Vicious by decision, Melissa Gatto decision, and split decision over Justine Kish. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about Thug Rose Namajunas. She's more than a 2-1 favorite. Should be more like a 4 or 5-1 favorite, in my opinion. I mean, she's going to absolutely dominate this fight. She's got way more experience than Cortez. The one thing you could say about Cortez is she does find ways to win, right? It's not her fault who she's fighting, but she's also not putting away her opponents. She wants to take the fight to a decision. So Doug Rose just has to be real aggressive here. I think she learned her lesson against Carla Esparza and has looked good since. She gets the win here, in my opinion, by finish, somewhere in the 2nd or 3rd round, likely by KO, to move to 14-6. Women's flyweight division, your main event at UFC Denver. And that's the key, right? I mean, just to stay aggressive. Rose Namajunas needs to pull out a big victory here, not a 5-round decision. She needs a big finish. It seems to me that it's kind of set up that way, although Tracy Cortez could surprise us. But it seems to me that it's set up for Doug Rose to get a big finish. And now you can start looking up a little bit at the top of the list and potentially start calling out some names. I mean, listen, when you have the name recognition of Rose Namajunas, it doesn't take much to start to propel you into a title fight, because we all know what she's capable of, and therefore a big finish could go a long way to help in that direction. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Rose Namajunas pulls out the big victory, UFC Denver.
He's gon' fight, he's gon' fight. Hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height. Bringing that thunder with all his might. Saying step up, wanna fight? Hold up, think twice. Gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon. Walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded.